Hello, welcome to ManHound Sound Sessions. I'm your host, Bill Wardlow. My guest today, Jimmy Clepper. Jimmy's the front man from See You in the Funnies, and with 4 Funnies records under his belt, a live record, and a solo record, he's a pretty prolific writer. I was really looking forward to doing this interview, and Jimmy didn't disappoint. He played some great songs, told some great stories, and we just kicked back, had some beers, and had a good time. I can't wait for you to hear it. But first, a word from our sponsor. Does anyone else miss old school used guitar shops? You know, the sort of place where you never know what you might find when you walk in the door. I know I sure did. And then I found one. Jam House Music at 4240 Mount Carmel Tabasco Road, Cincinnati, Ohio. They don't sell online. They're a brick and mortar only used guitar joint, and they're proud of it. They do their best to keep their prices low. They offer more for your trades, and they got an awesome inventory. Everything from that first guitar to the Les Paul or Paul Reed Smith that you dream about owning someday. So stop by and pay them a visit at 4240 Mount Carmel Tabasco Road, or give them a call at 513-843-5139. Again, that's Jam House Music, where your sound is found. Without further ado, my interview with Jimmy Clepper. Hey, Jimmy, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, man. It's a beautiful abode you have here.
Thanks. Appreciate that. What got you started playing music?
Well, I always, even from I'm going to crack this beer. From a young age, I've always was pretty interested in music because my mom, always had acoustic guitars and stuff laying around the house. But I didn't really start getting into it until I was about in 6th grade when I started picking up acoustic guitar and teaching myself chords and stuff on the internet. But, that's basically just growing up around it my whole life is what's sparked my initial interest. And then from then, I learned G, C, and D on the guitar and just wanted to write songs. I didn't want to learn cover songs and stuff as much as I just wanted to write stuff.
That's all you need to know.
G,
start
C,
writing.
and D.
That's everything.
Exactly.
When did you write the first song?
Probably when I was 11 years old. It was probably an awful, a song that an 11-year-old would write, about Legos or something. I don't know.
You don't remember it, though?
No, I don't. But Thomas, the guitar player in See You in the Funnies, we used to record all kinds of stuff on his little portable Zoom studio. So I'm sure there's probably an old 11-year-old Jimmy song out there somewhere.
Well, since he's come up in a couple different of the podcasts. And, Thomas is my favorite guitar player around.
Yeah.
I just love to go watch that guy play. It's amazing.
He's my favorite guitar player, too. He's just unique.
It's so different.
Yeah.
No one else plays like that.
Because he plays incorrect.
Yeah.
But in a cool, original way, yeah.
So what's the first song that you do remember?
Okay, I remember. It was called The Naked Song. And it was just Thomas playing some chords over and over again. And this was before I even really wanted to sing or anything like that. And I just made up some lyrics. Yeah, and his dad heard it and was like, "Hey man, that's not too bad. You might be able to actually sing if you put some effort into it." So yeah, it was called The Naked Song, and it was 8 minutes long of just me repeating random shit. I don't really remember most of it, but
So how much work did you put into it?
Just playing music or the song?
Yeah, learning how to sing. And
a lot, just I think a good way to get better at singing is recording yourself and like hearing how shitty you are and then correcting, your stuff.
I
Because
agree totally.
nobody likes listening to I still, to this day, like every time I record something, I hate it usually. But you have to have people around you that'll be like, yeah, man, that was good enough or that was pretty good. But
How long did it take till you were confident doing it?
probably after the first See You in the Funnies uh, full length album that we did in like 2012, I think. That was when I started to, get more comfortable in it. And now I feel like I'm at a point where, I've improved a lot, so it's not as horrible being in a studio session.
What album was that?
It was our first full length album, just called See You in the Funnies,
Yeah.
just self titled. It's got about 12 songs on it, I believe. But yeah.
What's your process for writing?
It's always kind of different. Um, Sometimes I'll have like a melody in my head already, and then I'll sit down and, shape the chords around it or the music around it, and then try to come up with lyrics that way. Or other times I have the lyrics already all written down with no like format, and then I'll just make them fit into a piece of music. Uh, but yeah, it's just kind of all over the place. Sometimes it takes me 2 years to write a song. Other times it takes me like 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just random.
Do you do any kind of writing exercises, or
Um, no, not really.
do you ever sit down and go, I'm going to write a song right now?
Yeah, sometimes I force myself to write one,
Yeah.
and that's I've told people that before. Like that's my advice to new songwriters who like are tearing their own stuff apart and like trying to perfect everything. Sometimes you just have to sit down and write and finish something. You know what I mean? Just get it done. And not every song is going to be your greatest song ever written. You kind of just have to, sit down and try to get something out. But yeah, I don't really have a writing exercise.
You write a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of throwaways?
Yes. I have songs that I forgot that I even wrote, and then I'll like record it on my phone or something, and I'll go through and be like, damn, I don't even remember that one. That's pretty cool. Maybe try to bring that one back. But yeah, a lot of throwaway songs.
So the ones that make it to a record are those just ones that you just keep playing?
Yeah. Just ones that I like that I think are good. Might not always be right, but if I like them, then I'll try to do my best to record them.
So when you come back across those songs, do you rework them? Like, do you come back across a song and go, well, that's a start of a decent idea, and start reworking it?
Yeah, for sure. That happens sometimes. And yeah, I mean, there's sometimes you got like 3 or 4 versions of that same song recorded in different ways. And I think that's good to do anyway, because nowadays with the internet, like content is important. So having multiple versions of something is always a good thing, I think.
Gives you a chance to flush it out too before you get in the studio and
Right.
spend money on it.
Exactly.
Do you deal with writer's block at all?
Yes. Yeah, sometimes you sit down and it's just really frustrating to. Yeah, sometimes I won't even touch my guitar for like a month. It'll just sit in the case looking at me and just not feeling creative. But then there's other times where, you know, like I said, I'll write a song in 5 minutes or something, or have something like a really solid idea. And then other times I can't come up with anything, but sometimes you got to just try to force yourself to do it. It's like stretching working out a muscle or something.
Right. So again, you write a lot of songs. So when you have those long stretches, when it starts coming back, do you just get like a shitload of songs, like one right after the other, or Is it just that long of a process and we're not actually seeing that?
Yeah, I would say like this year in particular, 2020, I think it's has a lot to do with the pandemic and just being locked in your house and nobody's doing shit and you can't really play shows. You can't
Fuck pandemics, by the way.
yeah. You can't do all the shit that you normally do. So I feel like this last year I've probably written more songs in 2020 than in 1 year that I have in my whole career of writing songs, you know what I mean? Because just having that time by yourself and that's another important thing too, just having that alone time to be able to, you know, write songs.
Yeah. What so I know you said you started playing right away with Thomas. Is the Funnies like it? Is that where you started?
Pretty much, yeah. We've always, like, since we were 14 years old, we've called the band See You in the Funnies. And we have like a we had like a SoundCloud and a MySpace and like a all that shit when we first started out, and just we would record, like I'd go over to his house on the weekend and we would just eat Doritos and drink Mountain Dew and record songs, you know. Shitty songs, but we would record them a lot, and I think that's yeah, it's just a process because you have to suck before you can be
Right.
good.
Right. It's an amazing thing you guys have built.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
It's come along. It's kind of a big train moving along these days.
Yeah, for sure. Until 2020, when the train kind of slowed down, but that also gave us time to work on other things that we needed to work on. So, yeah, man, it's been crazy. I've known Thomas for so long. I'm 29 now. I met him when I was in 5th grade, so I don't know how long that is, but it's been a long time.
Second grade, so it was like a couple of years.
Yeah.
How long's the Funnies as a whole been together?
So almost been like 8 or 9 years with like a full band, like a drummer, bass player. And yeah, I think it's about 8 years. But before that, like I said, me and Thomas would we would do like little coffee shop shows, and my uncle owned this bar down in Batavia, the Batavia station, and he used to let us sit up there and play pretty much whatever we want. And I started doing like an open jam down there on Friday nights.
That's,
and
so helpful.
Yeah, it's a, you know, it's where people can come and work stuff out, work songs out. And we were up there one night playing, and Jason came in, and I didn't know him at all at the time, and he was like, "Yeah, you guys need a drummer," and we're like, "All right, I guess we need a drummer." And then got a bass player. I think Ronnie Patterson might have been our first bass player or the second bass player we had, but
Really?
yeah, he was a guitar player. But we're like, it's got strings on it, dude. You'll figure it out. So, yeah,
he's a pretty decent all around musician, though.
Yeah.
I know he's a drummer and stuff too. So
that guy can play anything, man. He's just one of those guys.
Just super talented.
That
Great songwriter too.
Yeah, that piss you off. They're just good at everything, and they don't even have to try that hard to be good at it.
I think Ronnie's episode 3 of season 1.
Nice.
So go check that out.
Hell yeah, it's a good one.
So Cincinnati, how'd that come about? That's a new song, right?
Yeah. I would say it came along by living in the same 10 square mile radius, you know, your whole life, and like just driving up down the street and seeing the same shit all the time. And I'm like, man, I got to get the hell out of here. And not just like a vacation. I needed like an extended vacation. So it's more just, I love where I grew up and I love the people that are in my life, but you know, I think everybody just needs a break, you know what I mean? So the song is just basically about taking a break from Cincinnati.
Nice.
With somebody that you care about, you know what I mean?
Well, let's take a break and have a listen to Cincinnati.
Let's do that.
riddled with my ghost, and I'm still hiding underneath the stairs. You're like no one that I've known, and I'm still no one, and I'm still scared. We could leave Cincinnati to kiss these flying pigs goodbye. We could fill up the backseat full of useless supplies. We could leave Cincinnati thinking God was still alive. You like wearing your green hair, and I like drinking to act like I don't care. I watched you love and catch on fire. When you were burning, I knew that I could try. We could leave Cincinnati to kiss these flying pigs goodbye. We could fill up the backseat full of useless supplies. We could run for Toronto to kiss me underneath the lights, to say goodbye to Ohio, thinking God was still alive, thinking God was still alive. You're like no one that I've known.
All right, good stuff, man.
Thank you, man.
I really enjoyed that. I really like that flying pigs line. It's
Yeah. I always wonder, like, if somebody who's not from Cincinnati, what they might think that is.
yeah, they're not gonna get it.
Yeah. What the hell's he talking about? But yeah, leave them flying pigs behind, baby.
So what kind of recordings you got out? I know you got a shitload.
Well, I got all the See You in the Funny stuff. We just put out an album during the end of last year, the Soft Pack album.
Great album, by the way.
I'm really proud of that album, man. It's
Available on vinyl, guys.
yes, sir. Vinyl. We got CDs. Nobody uses those anymore, so you could use it as a coaster if you wanted to order one online or something. But so we got
I still like to buy the CD though, and
yeah.
then download it to my computer. So
I got a old shitty car with a CD player in it, so I'm a CD guy still. I still listen to CDs.
yeah, I upload all mine on an iPod, and
Yeah.
I still carry around an iPod.
When you,
It's almost as bad as CD player.
I'm a guy with a flip phone though, so
dude, I'm with you on that. So, yeah, so all the music. I mean, we got tons of music out. So we got we have 2 EPs and 2 full-length albums under See You in the Funnies, and I also did a 4-song EP under the name just Jimmy Clepper. It's like solo stuff, but a couple of the Funnies guys appear on a couple of those tracks, and that's also on the See You in the Funnies YouTube, just called the Jimmy Clepper EP, and that's got the Holden song on there, which I think you're gonna play later on. And then I also did a couple tracks with Nolan Taylor up at Sonic Lounge under the name Easy Rugby, which is gonna be like my collaboration project, I guess you could say. Like, I'm gonna use that as a way to collaborate with other songwriters from Cincinnati or this area, and we'll release it under that name, Easy Rugby.
Why Easy Rugby?
It's a I'm not supposed to tell anybody this, but I'll let it, you're getting an exclusive right here on ManHound Sound Sessions. It's actually an anagram of Gary Busey. Just mix all the letters up and it spells Easy Rugby. And I don't know why I have this weird obsession with Gary Busey.
I'm
but
a huge fan of Gary Busey.
I'm just fascinated with that guy.
Did you see him on Dancing with the Stars?
I didn't. Is this recent?
It was a couple of years ago, but he was talking about, look at my eye, it's spinning. All kinds of crazy shit during the interviews. It was awesome.
Yeah, he's just a crazy dude, and he's actually a really great musician too. Like, have you seen the Buddy Holly story?
Yeah. Well, he actually learned to play guitar for that movie, I think.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So,
and then just kept it up after that. But
I've just always had this weird connection with Gary Busey.
That's awesome.
So, and I typed it into a generator online, an anagram generator. I just typed his name in, and there was like these lists of different, words that you could make out of Gary Busey, and one of them was Easy Rugby, and I was like, that's pretty badass.
That is badass.
So we're gonna go with that one.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's Easy Rugby.
Well, let's take a second and talk some shit about Adam Lee.
All right, let's do that. Fuck that guy, dude.
He wanted to talk shit about you while he was here. So.
Yeah, he told me he did. I didn't have the pleasure of listening to that part of the podcast yet, but that dude owns more pairs of shoes than any fucking human being.
That he does. Like, he actually ruined a brand new pair when he come over here. It was storming and he stepped out right in a mud puddle. So it was a great way to start the night.
We went on that trip with the Crooner Circus, which is Noah Smith's Crooner Circus thing, where basically it's like a Nashville style thing where they have have you ever done one of those before?
I have not.
Yeah, you need to get on one of those, man. They're fun.
Yeah, I would love to.
You get 3 or 4 different songwriters on stage at once, and each person tells a story about the song or whatever, and then they play the song. But anyway, we took it on the road with Noah. We went to Louisville and to Mason, Indiana, and Adam. We traveled with Adam too, and he pulled up in the car, and he had like all this, no room in his car. He's like, I don't have any room in my car for your guitar and shit. And I was like, why not, man? Like, you only have an acoustic guitar. Like, what the fuck do you got in there? Shoes. Just a shit ton of shoes, dude. He brought a different pair of shoes for every night.
That's so awesome.
And then he's walking around with flip flops in the house. He's a shoe guy, man.
That's so Adam.
They're nice shoes, but damn, you got a pair of shoes for every day of the week.
Well, the actual reason I brought him up, though, he actually said that Floozy was the best project that had been done in Cincinnati.
Okay. Let's see yeah, that's our that was like right after we did the full length album. Then Floozy was the EP that we did. That's flattering coming from him, because I don't know if you've been listening to the stuff that those guys have been putting out, but
it's awesome.
It's pretty incredible, dude.
Yeah, and they won like best artist in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
a couple years ago.
CEAs or best new artist, something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love that stuff's happening for those guys.
Exactly, man. And we came up with Adam. I think one of the first shows I ever did was with Adam. I'm almost positive it was. So we've been playing music with Adam for a long time. But yeah, that's awesome. That project is definitely the saddest out of the Funnies project. I was going through a pretty shit time, and sometimes the best music comes out of those kind of situations.
I had to agree with him. that's a great album. I mean,
Thank you, man.
with like Annie Hall, and where'd that come from?
I watched the movie
is
Annie Hall. Have you seen
Is
that
it
movie?
just straight up the movie?
Yeah. Well, it's really, if you listen to the lyrics, it has nothing really to do with the movie. It's just it's kind of a, it's like a romantic comedy, Woody Allen weirdo thing, and I just like the name of that, the way that name sounds.
So were you laying around watching a lot of movies and stuff around that time? Because Bruce Banner's also on.
Yeah. No, I've always watched a bunch of movies. I'm a huge movie fanatic. So, but yeah, just that. I can't remember where I saw that movie at, but I just thought that name was cool and kind of ripped it off. But that was before I knew all the weird stuff about Woody Allen.
Yeah.
But it's all right.
So, do you do a lot of writing with other people?
No, not. I mean, as far as like the lyrics and melodies and stuff, all that, like every album that I've put out was Steve and the Funnies. I've written 100% of the lyrics and the vocal melodies and stuff. But as far as like arranging and putting the songs together, a lot of that stuff, we would do in the studio with the band. Jason had a huge part in that. That's something Jason's really great at, other than just being a good drummer. He's really good at arranging and trimming the fat off of a song. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
because you can go too long, or like have a turnaround or something that's like, oh, instead of doing this 3 times where there's no music or no vocals, maybe do that once, or like, put this part here instead of there, that kind of stuff. He's really great at that stuff. So
That's a definite necessity.
Yeah,
in a
for
band
sure.
To really put out good content.
he's like the Lars of Steve and the Funnies.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He really puts out like he writes parts
Yeah,
for his drum parts.
definitely.
He's not just sitting back there playing beats. He sits down and writes parts.
Exactly.
And you don't see that very often.
No, I think
Not
it's-
around here anyway.
Right. Well, I think that comes just with his experience being in a studio environment and recording music over, because you can tell, like, if you're listening to something and you're like, okay, there's nothing happening here in this part of the song. Is it really servicing the song? Is it making the song better to have this 4-bar instrumental break?
There's the key to everything.
Yeah.
Does it service the song?
Yeah, and that's what
so many people don't get
exactly, man.
when
So-
writing and arranging songs. They'll put this stuff out, and it's not that lots of it is really great songs, but they're doing stuff that doesn't necessarily serve the song,
Right.
and in turn, I think it hurts where it goes.
For sure. And yeah, I think that's just something that he was always great at picking out. Like, cut this part out, or instead of doing the same length of the verse, like the first verse is 4 lines, and you got a really good hook, and then you got your second verse. You don't want to necessarily do 4 more lines. You might have to sacrifice 2 lines of lyrics to do like a shorter verse and get right back into that hook again, rather than keeping it long just because, oh, I'm an artist, these are my words, I can't cut these out. Like, I've never had an ego about that kind of stuff. So if somebody's like, yeah, get that shit out of here, it doesn't hurt my feelings, I'd like either disagree or agree with you. So that part's always been cool with Steve and the Funnies. I think that's why I think we've got some good songs, is because all of us don't have that, Thomas doesn't say, oh, I want a 20-minute fucking guitar solo here because I'm an awesome guitar player. It's like, you can do your things that boost the song and make it, unique and interesting throughout the whole thing, rather than.
See, I'm a jam band guy,
Yeah.
but I also I study a lot of songwriting techniques, and I listen to a lot of lectures and watch a lot of videos on YouTube. And over and over again, they're saying, you've got to get right to you got to jump right into that verse.
Get to the
People want to hear it right off the bat. Get to the hook.
Right.
They don't want a 20-minute solo in front.
No. And even with jam bands like the Grateful Dead, I don't know if this is true, but I vaguely remember like watching a documentary where they recorded an album, and then their label or whatever was like, you guys got to write some fucking songs, man. Like, and then that's when they came up with like Uncle John's Band and like, you know, what's the other one? Casey Jones. And like, those are like more.
I mean, you're talking a really iconic album right there.
Right. And that's what I'm
that's
saying.
Working Man's Dead. And they actually work with Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Right.
I actually worked with them to do the vocals on that album. That's why it sounds so damn good.
And those are just catchy songs. Like, those are songs you can play on the radio. Those are songs that people are going to listen to at the bar.
They're 3 to 5 minute songs.
Right. And I love jam bands too, but I feel like that's more of a thing you go see live. You don't want to, and you're in a, maybe some people might like to listen to it in the car, but
I like the 20-minute intro.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about getting to the lyrics right away, but over and over again, I see that said, and you know, when you're putting together a record and you want people to listen to it, those are the kinds of things you need to think about.
Right. We got that song Buck 50 comes right in with the vocals, you know. The vocals are the first thing you hear. I got my in the clouds. You know, it just comes right in, and that was a creative choice that we made, you know, because we had like the whole intro and shit, and we're just like, well, get rid of that, and just because we thought the melody was hooky enough that when people hear it, you know, if you're on the radio and you hear some guitar, or listening to the radio and you hear a guitar come in, you might switch the channel, but if you hear that vocal come in right away, it might make you stick around.
Right.
So yeah, we try to do that. That's something that
well since you brought it up, that's off of I Know You Are But What Am I, right?
Yes, sir.
That was recorded in Mount Orb.
Yeah, with Lamont Marshall, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and right behind Stage 3 Instruments, right in it's a little home studio, not much bigger than the room that we're in right now.
Yeah, I got to come in for a little bit on some of that session, and
hell yeah, I do remember that. I think we recorded Buck 50 partially at Rook House with Johnny Chapman, which that's in like Williamsburg, somewhere in that area, which is a super nice. Yeah, that's a really nice studio too.
But that EP come out sounding just great.
Yeah,
and recorded in not $1 million studio.
Right.
You know, it was in the back of a music shop, and a lot of good stuff come out of there. Marshall or Lamont put out a bunch of good stuff out of there.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that's just like what we were talking about earlier with, if you have good stuff, as long as you have somebody who's got a decent grasp on what they're doing, it's going to turn out pretty good.
Competence of the engineer and producer.
Right.
Now, Josh helped produce that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Josh, if you noticed on all of our records, even the most recent one, Soft Pack, Josh has a producer credit separate from all his instrumentation credits that he's got on. So yeah, Josh, that's something else.
Something to be proud of, though. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Producing's not easy.
It's not. And like him and Jason are both really good at that. So I think we've all gotten better at it over the years, but I definitely learned a lot from being in the studio with people like Josh and Jason, for sure.
Heck yeah. Well, you mentioned it earlier. One of my favorite songs, Holden. Like I said earlier, before we started the podcast, I listened to it the first time and immediately went, oh my God, I got to listen to that again.
Nice.
It's just really hit me somewhere. And so let's take a break and have a listen to Holden.
Hell yeah.
She broke me up like her favorite little pill. She held her tongue better than she held her buzz. I'm getting weak, spitting crimson through my teeth, 'cause she She lit me up like the last one in the pack. She tied me off like she knew this wouldn't last. I'm getting weak, spitting crimson through my teeth. 'Cause she don't love me when I'm broken. She only loves me when I'm holding. And she don't love me when I'm broken. She only loves me when I'm holding. She broke me up like her favorite little pill.
All right. Again, I absolutely love that song.
Yeah, thank you, man. That was a last minute song when I was going up to the studio, and I was supposed to have 4 songs ready, but I only had 3, so I was like, better write another one real quick.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
So was that in the car on the way there, or?
It was the night before
The
I
night
had to
before.
leave, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that's how it works.
Yeah.
Like you said, sometimes it takes 2 years to write a song, and then others just take a few minutes.
Right.
But those tend to be the better ones, though.
For sure.
At least for me. That's been my experience. The ones that really come quick are the ones I seem to that seem to get by better.
Take less massaging and they just come out.
Right.
So you get a better product.
So how do you make time to write?
I stay up really late.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be up till, I'll be laying in bed trying to go to sleep at like midnight and then be like, have an idea and just end up staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning working on something, and like I'm always even when I'm driving in the car, I might come up with lyrics or a melody or something in the car. You're just always writing,
Yeah. I always have a hard time in the car.
Really?
Yeah, but when I lay down and try to sleep, it's when I don't want to write.
Right.
It's when all the great ideas come.
And then that's when you have to force yourself
that's
to get
when
up.
when you're like, hey, I better get this down or it's
Right.
gonna go away.
Exactly. But I actually bought this little thing. It's called a Spire, and it's like a little
Isotope, right?
Yeah, isotope Spire. That's the coolest thing for songwriters, I think, that you can get. Like, it's got a condenser mic built right on the front of it,
Nice.
and it's an app that comes with it that's right on your phone. It has built-in effects, all these different things you can do, and you can layer it. It's got a click track, and you can add harmonies and drums
Nice.
and all that stuff. So
And that's all self.
yeah, right there.
You
It's
can
in
do it
like
all
a
right
little-
in the box.
It's like
right
the size
there.
of a pickle jar, man. It's like
And then you download it to a computer, or
no, I don't ever use that I just use it for demos. Like, so if I'm getting ready
Yeah.
to go to the studio, I'll lay it down to the tempo that I'm comfortable with, and then that way when we get in the studio, they can just be okay, this is the tempo. And
so do you dump it out?
yeah, we have before. And
You
like,
dump it out so you
use it
hand
as-
it to the engineer to
right
bring up and use it as like scratch tracks.
Yeah, use it as scratch, and then I think that's what we did for the Jimmy Clepper EP. I had a bunch of those already recorded, and then we went up there and used those as scratch tracks, and then Jason laid drums over top of it, and then we went back and redid guitars and vocals and all that stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, it's really useful for that kind of stuff. Of course,
it-
you could just hit record on your iPhone and probably get the same.
Oh, they make pretty decent mics that connect to the iPhone and stuff now too.
Right.
Like you can get the stereo condenser Sony microphones and stuff.
Yeah.
I got a Zoom handheld that I use.
Yeah, that's what Caden and Will use a lot for. That's a shout out to Claremont Films, Caden Lucas and William Hafley.
Speaking of which, those guys make some great videos.
Yeah.
I mean, really great. You
Yeah,
guys'
man.
music videos are just awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And
man.
that's all of them, right?
They haven't done every one of our videos, but they've done a majority of them. We did a couple with Sandwich Jones.
Ah, yeah.
We did All My Friends and C Note, I believe, with Sandwich Jones. And then also the Soft Pack video. It's like just me riding down the street on a skateboard. I don't know if you've seen that one. But Caden and Will.
C-Note's the one with where you're turning the pages.
No, that's Combat.
Combat.
Yeah, Combat we did with Will. That was just Caden. And but yeah, Will and Caden are great, man. I've watched those guys improve a lot over the last, few years of just doing it,
And they're really putting out good content.
Yep. They're doing a movie right now, and I'm supposed to be in one of the scenes.
Awesome.
So that'll be cool.
When's that supposed to be out?
I'm not sure. I don't know if they have a release date for that, but I think they're
just putting it together as they can.
I don't know how the process of making a movie goes, but those guys seem to have a pretty good handle on it.
Yeah.
But,
also, since we're talking about it, Will's got a podcast.
Yeah.
Talking to you, talking to me.
Yep, that's it.
Yep, good stuff. Go check that out. I've been watching the videos on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's really good. There's 5 or 6 episodes out right now,
I think
something like that.
They've got a lot recorded. I don't know how many they've actually released, but they did a good job of like stacking them. They had 4 or 5 on the backlog before they even started putting them out.
I know I've seen one with you and Josh.
Yeah, Josh, Nathan Witt. I've done one. I'm pretty sure Travis did one, but they may have archived that one because I think they scratched that one because Travis. We were all drinking and it was pretty late.
We watched the UFC fight and we all just got. we were gonna stood after the UFC fight, so we all got a little lit afterwards. And then...
Jake Dyer.
Yeah, Jake did one. Yeah, it's really good, man. They're doing a great job with that too. That's a lot of work, and those guys.
It's a whole lot of work to do a podcast. People don't understand how much it takes.
Yeah, and they have the whole video part too.
With the video and everything. I don't know how you. I mean, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
To sync everything up and. So, what influences do you have? Where does all this come from?
Oh man, so many different places, but like early seeing the funny stuff, there's a lot of hip hop influence. So
even in the later stuff, there's a lot of hip hop.
Yeah, and the new album, there's no like actual rapping, quote unquote, on the album.
Much heavier.
Yeah.
Than previous albums.
But even with that stuff, there's still like that hip hop attitude towards it. Like the C Note song, that actually started off as a hip hop verse that I wrote down on a piece of paper. It was like a rap verse, and then I just kind of slowed it down and turned it into a melody. So it was like, yeah. So it was like, this isn't me, I'm not a hero, not fitted pinching pennies, bitches pissing on my peacoat. Instead of rapping it like that, I decided to, play guitar with it and then slow it down. So it's like, this isn't me, I'm not a hero. So, yeah, the hip hop is a big influence. 90s rock, obviously. Thomas is a huge Pink Floyd guy. So that probably explains some of his ambient.
He plays the greatest chords.
Yeah.
I mean, as a guitar player, to stand in front of him and watch him play, you're like, what is he doing?
Yeah, his fingers are all folded up and
like normally
contorted.
I can look and pretty much figure out what somebody's doing fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I have no idea what he's doing ever.
Exactly. Trying to sit down and write with that guy sometimes.
And I think if you took everyone else away, none of it makes sense.
Right. Exactly. It's weird, man. He's just one of those people, dude. And like he's never had a guitar lesson in his life or anything like that. He's just fiddled with a fucking guitar long enough to, you know, come up with his own way of playing. Which I think in some cases, having that kind of education, like a music theory or like a just classical training, can kind of hold you back in ways, creatively. You know what I mean?
Well, they put rules in place,
Right.
and people have a hard time breaking rules.
Yeah.
And the whole point of music is to learn those rules and
Yeah.
then break them.
Right. And Thomas doesn't even know the rules, so he
yeah,
just does whatever the hell
exactly.
he wants. So yeah.
What's your favorite local band?
That's tough. There's so many good bands in Cincinnati. Sunday Drives, obviously, is a big one. Beloved Youth, that's a great one.
I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah, they're, I don't know how active those guys still are, but they've got some great albums out right now.
Have to check it out.
Yeah, I dig it.
Are they out on the streaming services?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can find them all over YouTube and stuff. A guy named Sean Mack writes all their songs. Really great. I like, obviously Travis Obermeyer, great songwriter. I don't know, man. That's really hard because there's like tons of talent around here.
There's a lot.
For some reason, it's weird.
That's the whole reason I started this podcast. There's so much talent around here, and there just doesn't seem to be a scene.
Right. It's kind of scattered.
Like there is a scene, but everything's so scattered out that you don't have a cohesive scene. Like
right.
Like back in the day, you went to Seattle and boom, there's this huge scene there. Or more recently in Atlanta, you've got this whole crunk scene going on that just blew up, and there's all these guys doing their thing in this cohesive scene, but we just don't have a cohesive scene around here.
It's very scattered and different, so many different styles of music. We came up playing with metal bands and shit, and we're not.
I did too. I used to play acoustic shows in between metal bands.
Right. Adam Lee opening up, playing shows on the rock scene. He's just hemming an acoustic guitar, then opening for like a heavy rock band or like.
And somehow that all works.
Yeah.
I always enjoy those shows.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your favorite venue to play?
Okay. This is going to sound weird, maybe not, but one of my favorite places to play is actually Stanley's Pub, because there's just something about that place.
I love
man.
Stanley's personally.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get the greatest sound or, it's a dive bar and it's got a tiny little stage, but like you can go up there on a Tuesday night, man, and play music, and there's going to be 20, 30 people in there.
They could do some small things to that place to really improve on the sound.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you don't have to be that hipster where you could they could improve the sound.
Yeah.
they got enough money to improve the sound. But
I've seen some great music there though.
Yeah,
I've
seen
just recently I went and seen parts of Acoustic Hookah up there.
Nice.
And they were just amazing.
Hell yeah.
They had it was Ed McGee, Dave Katz, and Cliff Starbucks, and I hadn't seen those guys play together. I know they have several times in the last couple years played together, but I haven't seen those three guys playing together in 10 years because I've missed those shows. So
right.
I had a great time.
But yeah, Stanley's is a big place. That's like a place that we cut our teeth coming up, playing music there, on the weekends, and Stanley's is a great one. Southgate House, I like playing there a lot. When Madison Live was still popping, that was another place I used to love playing. But
the sound in there.
In Madison Live or Southgate?
The Southgate.
Yeah. Especially in
the old church.
Yeah.
The sanctuary it just sounds so good in there.
Yeah, it's just a cool room with high ceilings and the what is it? stained glass windows, and it's just a cool vibe in there.
I love the fact that you can walk around too and go to. It's like walking into 3 different venues.
Right. They got the parlor and then the upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, I played in every room in that place. And
Yeah,
it's
very
always,
cool place.
always good.
I was glad when they moved there out of the Thompson house.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, Stanley's just got a special place in my heart. I just think it's just one of those places where you know there's going to be people there that came to hear music no matter what night of the week it is. And
That's been my experience. It's always a good crowd, and you can walk around and mingle with people that you don't even know, and
right. And even
everybody treats you right. And
even if there's 10 people there, those 10 people are going to watch and pay attention to what you're doing and appreciate it. And yeah, so you're not background music. I'm not a big fan of playing at places where you feel like you're just a human jukebox.
Very difficult when you can hear people watching videos on their cell phone
right.
while you're trying to play a set.
Exactly.
What's the best song you ever wrote?
Let's see here. On the new album, the Softpack album, I don't know if it's the best song I ever wrote, but I think it's some of the best lyrics I ever wrote is on a song called The Way We Move. And you guys just have to go check that one out on YouTube and Spotify. But I was really proud of the lyrics in that song. And more recently, I played it, we're going to play that song today, but Imposter is another song that I'm really proud of lyrically.
Another unreleased song, right?
Yes. So yeah, I'd say between those two, I don't know. It's a tough one, but probably Imposter or The Way We Move would be one of the best songs I ever wrote.
Nice.
But also, other people would totally disagree.
I could pick out a handful that,
yeah.
Like I said, I really love Holden, but there's a handful of funny songs that it gets done and you're just like, damn.
Yeah. Damn,
that was good shit.
Nice. But based on like Spotify numbers, our most popular song is Oh No, which is off of our first record, and it's
really,
yeah. And I particularly am not a huge fan of that song, but when we play shows, still to this day, people always request that we play that song, and that's our most streamed song on like pretty much everything. So yeah, it's kind of like a reggae type of feel in a way. Islandy. Thomas makes like island chords.
Is it Stay? Is that the name of the song?
Stay Gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a special place in my heart for that one.
You just want somebody.
Every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh, because it totally sounds like a love song all the way up until you're like, gone.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Stay that way.
Great shit.
Yeah, that was when I was going through that rough patch. Now, that album it's got like a darker feel to it. It's all of our songs. Like, I've been accused of not being able to write a happy song before, because even the songs that sound happy, if you really break it down and read the lyrics, they're kind of pessimistic. But yeah, that album in particular, it sounds sad,
poppy,
and it is sad.
happy sound.
Yeah.
But when you start digging into the lyrics, almost all of them are like that. You're right.
I think that's just where I'm not, when I'm in a great mood, I'm not thinking about writing songs, I guess. I don't know. That's just where my outlet in that way is when I feel like shit. I guess I just should continue feeling like shit, and then I'll write some good songs.
There you go. It was Robert Hunter that said, if you want to be a great songwriter, have your heart broken over and over and over again,
right?
And just be a miserable human being, and then you can write some pretty good songs.
Yes. When we were at Stanley's like a month or two ago, I was doing a show there, and a girl asked me that. She was like, what's your advice for somebody who's trying to write songs? Like, what do you suggest? And I was just like, just go through some terrible shit and be miserable, and then you'll write some good songs.
That's it. That's the secret sauce.
Exactly.
So you've played a couple new songs here that are unreleased, and you mentioned, I don't think you mentioned it on the podcast, but you mentioned while we were talking that you're working on some new stuff.
Yes.
What's coming out of that? When's that coming?
I don't have a set release date for anything, but yeah, I mean, nobody really I don't know how I'm gonna release that stuff yet, but yeah, I went up to Sonic Lounge with Joe Veers and Patrick Edwards and laid down like 4 tracks, and I'm still working on those, and one of those songs was the Imposter song that I think you're gonna play here in a minute. But
I'm gonna have to go interview Joe.
yeah, Joe's the man.
He keeps coming up on the podcast.
Yeah. He's a legend, man.
Him and John Hart.
Yeah, John Hart. 2 local legends, man. Well,
Yeah.
John's a little more local than Joe, but yeah, Joe's the man. So yeah, I don't know when I'm going to release those songs, but hopefully sooner than later, but
Good deal.
I'm working on it. That's what I'm doing.
When can we see a full Funnies reunion?
Hopefully sometime this year. We're doing a private show here in a couple weeks for a friend of ours' wedding, and DK is flying back. See, DK moved to Arizona, and he got a good job out there, and Thomas lives in Memphis, Tennessee at the moment, so it's kind of hard.
I thought he was in Michigan.
He was in Michigan. He travels a lot for work. He was in Bloomington, Indiana for a while, then Michigan. Now he's in Memphis, and he'll come home for like a month at a time and then be back out. So it's been harder for us to get together and book these shows, but we definitely plan on doing a few big ones in 2021. Not being as active, but just have some bigger isolated events, which I think is a good idea anyway.
Definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too, man. I miss playing with my band. So
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of solo stuff, and I do love that too, but it's just a different feeling.
I can imagine that's a difficult thing.
Yeah, it's a different feeling when you don't have boys.
I haven't played a show with my band in a year.
Yeah.
We went and done we did XComp.
Yeah.
Was the only show we played last year.
Yeah.
And Jake's going to school in Tennessee, and Alex has all kinds of different stuff going on, so
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's like having 5 girlfriends, dude.
yeah.
So you gotta. So that's why I've been focusing a lot on my solo stuff, and it's a different type of rewarding when you do stuff on your own. I miss being in the studio with a group of my buds and working stuff out that way. But it is also pretty rewarding to do something on your own and be like, yeah, I did this.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing as failing or achieving
Right.
with your friends.
Exactly. You want to share that stuff with somebody.
Yeah, it's nice when all your friends, even if it's a failure, at least you did it with your friends.
Right, exactly. And then you can all sulk together.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited about the stuff I've been doing on my own. It's definitely a different vibe than the Funnies.
Yeah.
And I've always, everything that you write or that we've ever recorded with the Funnies, it starts off on an acoustic guitar. So basically, it's the same process, except for it doesn't, it's not getting layered with.
Yeah. I meant to ask that. A lot of people write on acoustic guitar, and a lot of people just don't ever touch one.
Yeah. Every song I've ever written has started on an acoustic guitar. 100%. So.
Yeah, that's nice. Even the rap hip hop stuff.
Yep. Even the hip hop stuff.
Nice. When are you going to win the belt back?
Whenever John Hart has another event, I'm going to get that get that rap battle belt back, man. I got bars for days.
Hell yeah. All right, well, let's take a break and check out another brand new song, Imposter.
Awesome.
I forgot how I'm supposed to feel. Caught in the gutter, can't tell if anything's real. I chase your shadows through the dark, crawl to the surface, fall from a murderous heart. And I've been feeling like an imposter, like I don't know myself. I need healing, I got more to offer, but I've been someone else. Somehow I woke up at the end, shot from a cannon, stuck at the bottom again. I'm out of places I can run, caught with the bullet, the shot come from my own gun. And I've been feeling like an imposter, like I don't know myself. And I've been feeling like an imposter, like I don't know myself. These days are crawling to an end. I'm pissed drunk, faded, hanging on you since my time has come to love, to pray, to let go of this broken pain. Mama, look how much it's changed. The cost of living ain't the same. And I've been going through the motions till I drove myself insane. And I can't breathe a moment longer if I keep it up this way. And I've been feeling like an imposter, like I don't know myself. I need healing, I got more to offer, but I've been someone else. I'm sorry, I moved you, you're nothing I'm used to. I'm sorry, I moved you, you're nothing I'm used to. And I've been feeling like an imposter, like I don't know myself. And I need healing, I got more to offer, but I've been someone else. Somehow I woke up at the end.
All right, man. Great song.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the new project coming out.
Yeah.
Let us know how to check you out on social media.
Okay, so now if you're looking for See You in the Funnies, obviously just type in See You in the Funnies on YouTube. We're also on Spotify, iTunes, TikTok, Deezer, what's the other one? Pandora, all those streaming platforms. I think Apple Music as well. All over the place. Just See You in the Funnies, or visit our website, which is www.seeyouinthefunnies.com, and you can check out our merch. We got some t-shirts, some pins, some CDs, some vinyls, all that good stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's where you can find it.
Nice. What's coming up soon?
For the Funnies or just in general?
Just in general. I mean, this will be out. It'll be a couple months. So.
Right. Well, in that case, I don't even know because I don't have anything.
Not booked out that far.
Yeah. So just keep your eyes out for new music from Jimmy Clepper, and see you in the Funnies, and yeah. So I'm definitely working on stuff now, so that should be out within the next couple months as well.
You also got a personal Facebook. I know you post a lot of stuff on there. So
yeah. So check me out on Jimmy Clepper on Facebook. Also, see you in the Funnies on Twitter. And then we got James_SYITF on Instagram. I like to post on Instagram. I'm trying to convert to Instagram at the moment because I'm not a big fan of Facebook anymore. But yeah, so I should have some new music coming out here in the next couple months. So by the time this is out, hopefully I'll have some stuff already out there.
Nice. Jimmy, thanks for coming over.
Dude, thank you for having us, man.
I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed the live performances. That was awesome.
It was cool, man. Had a lot of fun. I'd love to do it again. Maybe after I get some stuff that's out, I can come do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, thank you, man.
Have a good one.
You too, brother.
Thanks for sticking around till the end. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. If you'd like to discuss the show, or leave any comments, or book some studio time, you can reach us at manhoundsound@gmail.com. You can also reach us on Facebook. And again, go check out Jam House Music. They've got a lot of cool stuff in stock. They also have reasonable consignment fees if you've got any gear you want to get rid of. I'm not sure who the next guest is going to be. I've had a busy couple of months, but I'm sure it's going to be great. So thanks for listening, and go check out some live local music. Again, I'm your host, Bill Wardlow. This has been ManHound Sound Sessions.